So you have an e-commerce store and you're looking to scale profitably and consistently. Well, in this video, we're going to be going through the manual bidding strategies. Now, this includes Facebook ads and also TikTok ads to improve your results, make more consistent sales, and keep a higher ROAS while at a higher spend. Everything that I say here is relevant and applicable for Facebook ads. I'm just going to be using TikTok ads as the example. Now, what is manual bidding and what can we do to utilize it to get better results? Well, you have a user who is scrolling through TikTok ads, and every X number of videos, they will be served an ad by TikTok. Every single advertiser who is bidding on that person is hoping to win that auction, to win the spot to show them the ad. Let's say that person's watching cat videos. There's 500 advertisers, all 500 of them are bidding to get the impression of that person to ultimately hopefully click that ad, view their product and buy their product. Now in this video, we're going to be talking specifically about conversion bidding, hoping to get people to buy our products. Now there are other strategies that you can use bidding for, but in this video, we're just going to be using conversion strategies. Now, specifically, I like to use impressions and clicks as an easier way of describing it. So for example, there's 500 people, they're all bidding to get that one impression. Now, if TikTok can't allow all 500 people to show that one person their ad because there's not enough room on the platform to show them the ad. So they can only show one ad every 5 videos, for example. They can't show 500 ads every 5 videos. That's not going to work. So what do? Well, they say to everyone, I tell you what, if you bid and if you win the auction, we'll show your ad, which is where you get 2 strategies when we're using TikTok ads again. So on TikTok ads, you have the lowest cost strategy or the cost cap strategy. Now, up until about 6 to 12 months ago, TikTok ads only had cost cap, and that's basically manual bidding. Very recently, they've introduced lowest cost, and Facebook's been using it for God knows how many years now, a lot of years. And essentially lowest cost basically allows TikTok and Facebook to decide on the bid for you. They decide on how much you're going to spend in that auction, and basically some of the time you'll win the auction, some of the time you'll lose the auction, and they basically hope that from that you'll get a reasonable amount to spend, you'll reach your daily spend, and you'll also get some conversions as well. And that's essentially lowest cost. Lowest cost is very powerful when you're starting off, when you're doing testing, and also when you're sort of mid-tier scaling as well. You can also use it to scale to higher levels, but you have to have more ad groups created. And essentially the point of that is, you spent enough, you've made some conversions, but what you'll probably know as an advertiser that not every single day is the same. Some days you'll spend $500 and make good number of sales. The next day you'll spend $500 and make half the number of sales and be incredibly unprofitable. Now, over a 7-day period, it'll all average out and you'll be doing $20 to $30 per purchase, making 10 to 15% profit margins, and everyone's happy. However, you're probably thinking, what if I could be spending this amount of money every single day, making the very good number of purchases every single day? Well, that's where manual bidding comes in. Say, for example, we wanted to reach a specific cost per purchase. That's where cost cap comes in. So let's have a look at TikTok ads. If we scroll down, here is an example. So you have 2 options, cost cap and lowest cost. Lowest cost basically allows TikTok to decide your bid. Cost cap gives us this nice little graph. And if we go over to this graph, essentially, if you look at the x-axis, you've got your daily budget, how much you're spending on the ad group, and then your y-axis, your vertical axis, is your bid. Now, in this situation, they have set the bid to this level, and they've set the budget to that's the optimum bid, where you basically spend the most and ideally you make the most amount of purchases. So it doesn't necessarily mean if I want to get $3 per purchase, if I put $3 in this box, I'm probably going to spend absolutely nothing because so many people are above me in the auction. So many people are winning the auction above me that there's no chance I can even compete. It's like eBay. If I go on and I'm trying to buy a car and I bid $100 on that car and then it sells for $5,000, my bid is just buried. It's never even going to compete. And it's essentially the same thing. So there is a threshold where you can bid a certain amount and it will spend less and less. Now, because we're bidding per conversion, we will win some impressions, but it will spend less. Now, you want to basically find the point where you're spending a good amount per day and you're also getting a good amount of sales. So you're happy, TikTok's happy, everyone's happy. And that doesn't necessarily mean you can scale to huge levels, but it means you can be a lot more consistent. You have a lot more control over your sales day in, day out. Some days you'll spend loads, some days you won't, but over average, you'll probably make a higher ROAS than you would beforehand. Now, there's something I call the manual bidding pyramid, and that's what I wanted to go through in this video. So the manual bidding pyramid is essentially, there's 2 ways of doing manual bidding. The first way you can do the upwards trend of the pyramid. So we'll start off, let's say, with a $10 bid. And by the way, if this becomes too complicated for you, at the end of the video, there will be a link actually in the description where you can go ahead and download this sketchpad. There will also be a little document going along with it that will explain it in a little bit more detail as well. If that's too complicated for you and you want some extra helping hands, I do run a coaching team. There are a few of us in that coaching platform where essentially I take students on, and it's sort of a done with you, not a done for you. It's not a course, but if you need some one-on-one help or some one-on-one calls, then that option is available for you. A lot of people take and sign up for it if they're looking to scale their campaigns and need some extra help. So I'm there if you need it. It's the second link in the description. You can book a call with me. It's not free, you will have to pay, but it's there for those of you who want it. So let's move on. You're starting off, let's say we set the cost per purchase or the cost cap at $10. We then leave it for half an hour, see what happens. Okay, we haven't seen any spend. Let's increase it. And let's say we're now at $12 cost cap. We'll then leave it for another 30 minutes and see what happens. Well, again, we haven't seen any spend, so we'll increase it. Okay, now we're at $14 cost cap. Okay, leave that for another 30 minutes. And then you just want to follow this strategy, so on and so forth, until you get to a point where you're making sales, you're getting enough spend. You know, we're here 14, we'll say 16 and $18 cost cap. At this point, we're now making sales. You know, if we say this axis here is our time axis, you know, we're making sales, we're spending money, and we're all happy. After a certain amount of time, maybe 3-4 hours, that is keeping consistent and everything's good. Now that's the sort of upwards ladder manual bidding strategy where you start off at a low bid and you gradually increase the bid until you get things spending, you know, until you can leave it at that bid for a long enough time where you're spending enough and you're making enough conversions. The opposite side of that is what happens, well, there's two ways of describing it. The first way is if after a few hours, let's say you look at the last 2 hour window, and in this window here your cost per purchase has significantly risen. You've not seen any sales come in, and over time your cost per purchase is now looking at around $23, whereas in this period here it was more like $18. But because we've spent so much in this period but haven't made any sales, our CPA is rising. Well, what do we do at this point? Well, we want to decrease our bid. So what do? We whack our bid down to $16 and then we leave it for 30 minutes to see what happens. Has our spending decreased on that ad group? Has our number of conversions increased? Are we making more purchases, or is our cost per purchase decreasing? If not, we then decrease the bid again and then we leave it for another 30 minutes, and so on and so forth. Now, eventually what will happen is you'll get to a certain point where either you find a new threshold where, okay, now I'm beginning to make sales again, and I'll leave it. So I'm now at a $14 cost cap. I'm spending less than I was before, but at least I'm making conversions profitably. And then you can leave it going, and you'll probably see it will fluctuate. It'll be a wave. Sometimes you'll spend more, sometimes you'll spend less, sometimes you'll make more conversions, sometimes you'll make less. But because you can control that bid, you're never going to spend too much. You're never going to get hours or days where you're not actually getting any conversions. It'll either make sales or it won't. So that's the manual bidding pyramid. Now there is the other side of the pyramid where obviously initially we were running the manual bidding where we were increasing our spend, so everything was going up. Okay, so we started off with a low bid, and our strategy here was, well, let's increase our spend. Let's increase our bid, and that's the safe way of doing it. We don't want to be spending too much. You know, if we had a $2,000 a day budget on that ad group and we had a $18 cost cap, we're not going to spend $2,000 a day. We're going to spend something around 10 to 20% of that, so around $200 to $400. If we did it the other way around, where we said, okay, let's get this working quickly. So this is for people who are a lot more experienced. They want to get their ads spending quickly and they want to start seeing sales. So maybe what they'll do is they'll start off with a $30 bid, and they'll say, right, okay, you know, for the first few hours at least we'll see some spending, we'll see some sales come in. We know they won't be profitable, but we'll spend $200 within our first hour. All we want to do is bring in conversions and traffic. Maybe they're a brand, they can cross-sell, they can upsell, they have a recurring subscription, their emails are very strong. Maybe people come back and buy multiple times. Maybe it's their sort of lost leader product, in which case all they care about is bringing in initial sales, and they care about winning that auction. They don't care about anything else. So they'll start off their bid at $30. They'll then leave it for a while, you know, see what happens after 30 minutes. Okay, now we're spending too much. Let's decrease our bid. So they'll say, okay, let's do $28. and then they'll decrease it again, $26. And then they'll decrease it again until they get to $24. And maybe $24 is their happy point. Maybe that's where they then leave it and they just let their ads run. So that's the other way of doing it. Sort of we can call that the decreasing method, where essentially you pick your ads, cost cap, and then you decrease your spend. Now, the reason this one's red is because it's risky. You know, if you set your ad group, like I recommended in my previous video, to $2,000 a day and you have a $30 cost cap or a $40 cost cap, you're going to blow through budget very quickly. Now, on the plus side, you're going to make lots of traffic, lots of conversions, but you are going to blow through your budget. So if you've got the money to waste and spend, then go for this one. If you don't, then go for the increasing one. This is the safe one. This is the less safe one. At the end of the day, they both bring you pretty much the same result. But like I say, this is the best way of doing it if you're trying to maintain high ROAS more consistently. Now, I appreciate this video has probably been fairly complicated. There's a lot of stuff to pick apart and go through. Now, in my coaching teams, what we do is we do a weekly Q&A call where if you've got any questions or anything you've been working on that you want some more information on, then we all get onto a Zoom call and we talk about it in detail. Then I can help you out with any questions you've got. If you need any sort of one-on-one coaching, we can always organize that as well. There will be some materials there for you to learn from and basically a community of people who can help you out. So if you do want to get involved in that, click the second link down below in the description. You can book a call with me. It is a paid plan. We can't give it to you for free, obviously, because we have to spend a lot of time building and working on that. But if you do need something like that for your business, again, click the link down below and we can set that up for you. It's an ongoing thing, and we're building it as we go. If you do want to get the digital download of this, which will give you this pyramid, it will give you a little bit more information. You can click the top link down below. It'll take you to my website where you can download this file. You can put in your email and we'll just send it to your email address. And that's everything. So if there's any other videos you want to see about manual bidding or TikTok or Facebook ads, do leave a comment down below and I'll be happy to film a video on any subject that you guys want. But I will see you in the next video.